This one is for all my corporate cuties, my corporate girlies who have been in corporate for a really long time and you're ready to move on and move out into your calling. So, for those of you who don't know, I launched Boss Babe Creative in October of 2023 and let your girl just keep it funky just a little bit. It was a very scary move, but much needed. I feel as though I had been called to start something on my own many, many moons ago, but let's just say, let's keep it funky. I just didn't believe in myself. I had more faith in building other boss babes up my whole life than to actually be in a position to believe in myself and that I could do what I told all these other boss babes that they could do. So, I wanted to talk to you guys today. If you don't know, I'm part of an anthology that is coming out at the end of July, and it's called Classy, Sassy, and Badassy. And I have a chapter in there talking about going from a corporate girly to a boss babe. And my transition was literally forced um, because I refused to take the leap of faith. I refused to bet on myself, although what I was going through at that time, looking back, all of the challenges and all of the uncomfortableness and all of the poor treatment and the accusations and all of the things that I was getting from corporate about me starting a business on the side at that time, really looking back at it was like, duh, Lori, they obviously see your worth that you can't see. So, this today is just a little encouragement for those corporate cuties, those corporate girlies that are ready to take that leap of faith, but they don't quite know how. And so I just want to share my perspective and the things that I am an expert on that can maybe help you in your journey. So, first of all, I just want to tell you that if you're feeling this uncomfortableness, if you're feeling dissatisfied, if you feel like there's got to be more, you either need a new career or you need to launch that thing. And I'm going to speak specifically to those women who are ready to, or who know that there's something within inside them that they need to do their own thing, but they just don't know how. And it is so scary. As women, we do so much. We are wives, mamas, caretakers, household managers. We just do it all. And a lot of times we forget to take care of ourselves, which could just be a whole other video. But it's really scary when your corporate job is you need to pay your bills. And that's kind of where I was at. And I want to talk specifically about this because this is probably a really good reason, and it would make sense to you to not quit your corporate job and start a business because there's a lot of expense that goes into a business if you need the money to pay your bills, right? I mean, obviously, if we were all independently wealthy, we'd start a million businesses. But the truth is, we're not all independently wealthy. So if this is you, boss babe, corporate girly, I can't decide if I like the term corporate cutie or corporate girly. Because honestly, if you're in corporate, you're not a girl, you're a grown ass woman. So there's that. But anyway, if you feel this, if this relates to you, you're frustrated, you don't feel heard, you feel like you've kind of hit the cap of what you can do. If you believe that there's something different that you're more passionate about, if you're no longer serving the person or the business that you're in and you're simply sitting there to get a paycheck, but you know you have passion inside of you. This is for you. So here I am in a corporate position. I've been in corporate jobs my whole life. I've always excelled at every single thing that I did. I've always given above and beyond and done more than I'm supposed to do. I've always put my work before sometimes my family, my child, my husband, my own needs. Um, and so I was at this place where the corporation or the business was also in a transition. And this business did one thing, but was on a journey to do something different, but hadn't really found the right way to transition. And so the new thing that they were going after did not align with what my future is at this time. And so I started my side gig, Boss Babe Creative. At the time it was just me, Laura G, your hype girl, and I was just helping boss babes. I have been doing creative stuff forever and a day. And photography, videography. My husband and I used to do music videos, informational videos. I did photo shoots. I built brands. I did all of the stuff on the side because, again, going back to never took myself too seriously. I could do it for a company, but did I ever do it for me? Which is so sad because I cannot tell you the amount of times my husband pulled me aside and said, "Look, we need to start doing this for you." And I'm like, okay. But anyway, so I started doing some social on the side, got my first client, got a second client, got a third client, and then the proverbial crap hit the fan. And I knew it was time to leave my corporate job. I knew things weren't aligning anymore. I knew it felt like every day when I went in, it was opposite sides of Velcro. You know how Velcro, you can either stick it apart or it's that scratchy. Every day felt like a scratchy day. Every day felt like I was doing something wrong. Every day I was being mistreated. Every day was just like, I literally believe God was like, "Are you going to leave today? Are you going to put your faith in me today? Are you going to stand up for what you believe is true and right? Are you, are you, are you?" And every day I was like, "Nope, nope, nope." It got so bad, ladies, that I had to go to counseling. I'd never been to counseling with everything that I've been through, domestic violence, everything. Like, I never been to counseling before until I refused to quit my corporate job and start my own business. So, uh, you know, I did a lot of prayer. I asked for a lot of prayer. I asked for help in my counseling. I asked for help in my family. And honestly, at the end of the day, it was a few factors that finally got me to take the leap of faith. Well, one, God said, "Okay, Lori, if you're not going to do this, then the other side of the situation is going to do this." Don't do that, ladies. Don't wait to ruin a relationship that you may have had with your boss because you're too afraid or you don't believe in yourself to just transition. Because in my situation, I loved, basically worshiped my boss for almost 7 years, gave my whole life for her. And because I didn't just cut it off or stand up for myself at any given point, it just made the situation so much worse. So don't do that. But it was between my husband, my best friend, and the counselor I was speaking to who really opened my eyes. And I thought to myself, okay, God, I have to trust you in this. And this may not work out for every single person who does this, and I definitely don't want to make any like promises or anything, but the day that everything kind of came to a head, the day that ish got real funky for me and my job, and the ish hit the fan, is the same day, once I stood up for myself and my beliefs, is the same day that I signed the client I needed to sign to bring me to the same amount that I was making in my corporate job. And I gotta believe that God had intervened in that moment. Standing up for myself. Now, having a history of domestic violence, verbal abuse, um, being in relationships with people who are narcissists, and just all of those things in my past, all that baggage had led up to the insecurity of that I couldn't do what I'm doing on my own, that I could only do it for. I wanted to take the safe route, but sometimes God wants you to trust Him in what you do. And so I did it. I stood up for myself in tears, so frustrated, so broken, so hurt, but I stood up for myself. And immediately He opened that door. And I have to think to myself, had I stood up for myself a year earlier, 3 months earlier, would that have happened? I don't know, but I got to trust and believe that it would have, because He is my provider. And so I started my company in October, and I cannot tell you how amazing, how scary, how interesting, what a journey it has been. And is there stress? 100%. Is there fear? 100%. Is there times where you're like, I used to always not laugh, but I've heard bosses say before, like, oh, I woke up at 3 a.m. I haven't waken up at 3 a.m., but I have had moments of worry, like, what if this happens or what if that happens? And then I have always this thought, but when you stay true to who you are, when you put your faith in God, did He not take care of you, Lori? Did He not take care of you and rescue you from a domestic violence situation? Did He not take care of you when you lost your mother and you didn't know what you were going to do? Did He not take care of you being a single mama for several years? Did He not take care of you every time you were broke and poor and didn't have food and your refrigerator was empty? Did He not feed you? Did He not always take care of you? And it is the most freeing feeling. Then I also think, for those of you who are considering leaving the corporate world and starting something on your own, something my sister told me. And my sister, she's my older sister, she's my protector, she's my tell it how it is kind of girl. And she said to me once we were talking, and I said, like, there's times in everybody's business it's good, sometimes it's bad. And those times when it's bad, and the, maybe you lose a client or maybe this or that, and you wonder, like, oh my gosh, should I just go get a job? And my sister told me one time, she's like, as scary and as much as a roller coaster our business has been, I will never want to go back and work in a corporate situation. Would she, if she had had to? Absolutely. But she would never want to do that. And so I want to encourage the woman today who's working her 9 to 5 that she's no longer passionate about. Maybe she's being mistreated. Maybe she's uh not being seen, or maybe she's being pushed back because her boss or somebody in the business sees her full potential and she feels that. Maybe you just need permission. You just need permission to do it. I want to encourage you today to do it, to trust God, to write down all of the things that are holding you back and all of the things that you want to do, and just take the leap of faith. If I can do it, you can do it. And so, thinking about that, I've been having a conversation with a potential client lately who's ready to get out of being in the corporate world for 20 years. And she's tired, like, just tired of not doing what she's purposed for. And she's in the same spot I was in last October. And so she kind of inspired this little boss babe chitty chat I'm having with you guys today to say, get you some people around you, some wisdom, speak to your spouse, make a plan, write out what it is you want to do, write a date, a departure date from your corporate job. And this is one thing that the therapist told me while I was in therapy. She told me that every day to do something that I was passionate about for myself and for the business that I wanted to start. And I know that after a 9 to 5, you could be tired, you could be all of the things. But every day I did a little bit. I created some content. I created a brochure. I started writing my Glow Up Your Brand course. Every day I started to do a little bit for the Boss Babe Creative, and every day it seemed a little bit more real to me. And then eventually, even though I wasn't listening, I wasn't being obedient to God, I wasn't trusting Him, is what I'll say. And the transition wasn't smooth. I am so grateful that it happened. I learned so much. And now, because I was stubborn and insecure and didn't believe in myself, I can help all of those women out there who are in the place I was in. And the worst case scenario, leave the corporate job you're not happy in, start your business. And even if that doesn't work, right? I'm always a worst case scenario type of girl. You can always go get a different job, a different career. Can always start again. But whatever you do, however you do it, the one thing I want to encourage you to do is go boldly, boss babe. Build the life, the love, and the business that you've dreamed of. Build the business and life that you love. And I hope this encourages you today.